Sydney. Welcome to Sydney, the vibrant capital of New South Wales. A wonderland of beautiful beaches, historical sites, fabulous shows, exotic restaurants, and much more. Sydney is brimming with memorable experiences. Majestic Sydney Opera House is on one of the world's great natural harbours, and the iconic Bondi Beach is an amazing destination all year round. Sydney, the oldest, biggest, and the most beautiful of all Australian cities, lies amid a seductive intermingling of land and sea. Sydney sparkles all year round, and it's the perfect holiday spot for families, couples, and friends. When we landed here in Sydney, we were greeted by a friend who had come to pick us up in a chauffeur-driven Audi, an apartment booked in the heart of the city. Day 1. I could wait to meet the great Sydney Opera House, so we planned to explore the port area on our first day here, and we started with Mrs. McQuare's Chair. Mrs. McQuare's Chair is a Sydney landmark, and this is one of the best vantage points to view the sights of Sydney Harbour. The chair was carved out of a sandstone rock ledge, specially commissioned by the Governor Macquarie for his wife Elizabeth, who was known to love the area. Royal Botanic Gardens. A tranquil oasis amid the hustle and bustle of the city, the Royal Botanic Garden at the Farm Cove lies a short and scenic stroll along the waterfront from the Sydney Opera House. The gardens encompass 30 hectares of the themed garden with towering trees, palm grove, orchids, ferns, and a flock of fruit bats. Visiting the gardens is one of the many wonderful things to do in Sydney for free. After exploring the gardens, you can relax at the cafe or restaurants or enjoy a hillside picnic with a beautiful harbour views. Sydney Opera House. One of the world's great icons, the Sydney Opera House is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the star attraction on the glittering harbour. This graceful building, shaped like shells or billowing sails, perches on a finger of land surrounded by water. Snap a photo while gliding by on a harbour cruise, relax at one of the restaurants, stroll around its exterior, or take an organized tour of this magnificent structure, which encompasses theatres, studios, exhibition rooms, a concert hall, and cinema. Avid photographers head to Mrs. McQuare's Chair for one of the best photo opportunities. The Opera House may be the first thing to come to mind when you think about Sydney, or indeed Australia. The World Heritage listed building is stunning in person, and it is illuminated beautifully at night. The Rocks. The Rocks is also well known for its markets, cobblestone laneways, and the stunning views of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. You will find several excellent art galleries in this area and great dining options. Wander around the narrow cobble streets with their souvenir shops, restaurants, cafes, and Aboriginal and contemporary art galleries, or shop at the market stalls. Sydney Harbour Bridge. This iconic bridge is another one of the most well-known symbols of Sydney. The Sydney Harbour Bridge was the city's best-known landmark prior to construction of the Sydney Opera House. The world's largest steel arch bridge connecting the harbour's north and south shores in a single curve rising 134 meters above the water. Daring souls who want to climb to the 135-meter high summit can book the Sydney Bridge climb. This is a spectacular opportunity that takes groups of up to 13 people on an approximately 3.5-hour climb to the top of the outer arc. Tours run throughout the day, beginning with a dawn climb and ending with a night climb. 1.5-hour sampler climbs and 2.25-hour express climbs are also available. Luna Park, Sydney. Luna Park is worth visiting for the so kitsch its school entrance alone. It makes a hilarious photo backdrop. If you're into amusement park rides, you'll have a great time here. The Wild Moose is perfect for that terrifying yet awesome roller coaster thrill. Day 2. We explored famous spots of main city centre today. Darling Harbour. The Darling Harbour is a popular recreational complex adjacent to Sydney's city centre, with breathtaking river views and plenty to keep you well fed and entertained. A hub of tourists and local alike, Darling Harbour is a waterfront pedestrian precinct packed with shops, restaurants, museums, exhibitions and entertainment venues. Families will love Madame Tussauds and the Wildlife Sydney Zoo and the Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, which contains the world's largest collection of Australian marine creatures. Queen Victoria Building. A high point of Sydney shopping is the Romanesque-style Queen Victoria Building, linked by underground arcades with the Town Hall station. Today, more than 200 high-end shops line its light-filled galleries. It's worth a visit even for those who shun the shops, just to admire its successful restoration as well as its beautiful stained glass windows and mosaic floors. Rich in history and architecturally splendid, the Queen Victoria Building occupies an entire block on the Sydney's George Street and has over 180 of the Sydney's finest fashion boutiques, jewellery shops and homewares, accompanied by delightful cafes and restaurants. George Street. The oldest street in Australia, George Street was once a nameless tract trodden by convicts fetching supplies of water. Today, it's one of the city's major traffic arteries where high-rise office blocks, shops, and historic buildings converge in an incorrigible jumble. Angel Place bird cages. Most visitors to Sydney are completely unaware that they are missing out on seeing the empty bird cages that hang above Angel Place when they walk down either George Street or Pitt Street between Circular Quay and the busy shopping area of the city. Sydney Tower. Soaring above the city skyline, the 309-meter-high Sydney Tower Eye is the city's tallest building and one of its great landmarks, other than the Opera House and Harbour Bridge, of course. This golden spire-top turret rises from the busy Centre Point shopping mall. Express lifts whisk visitors to the observation deck at the top or to the skywalk, an alfresco glass-floored viewing platform, the perfect spot for sightseeing. While up there, you can enjoy panoramic views of Sydney and its surrounding suburbs, or enjoy a bite to eat at one of the revolving restaurants or the cafe. Hyde Park. Amid all the din of the central business district, Hyde Park is a sanctuary of sprawling lawns, shady picnic spots, flowers, fountains, and fig trees. Like a mini Central Park, this welcome patch of green, named after Hyde Park in London, offers prime people watching, especially at lunch when the city workers come here to kick off their shoes. We also stopped here to take a break from long city walks and relaxed a bit. St. Mary's Cathedral. Facing Hyde Park, St. Mary's Cathedral is a symbol of the spiritual beginnings of Catholic Church in Australia. This striking landmark in Neo Gothic style is the seat of the Archbishop of Sydney. Day 3. It had been 2 days since we landed in Sydney and we hadn't soaked our feet into the sea. So we headed to Bondi Beach in the morning, and after having breakfast near the beach, we directly jumped into the sea. Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is one of Australia's most famous beaches and a popular hangout for Sydney's beautiful people as well as local and international celebrities. It's always busy here, but usually not too busy, and the atmosphere is exciting. Sydney is famous for its fabulous beaches. Less than 15-minute drive from the city, iconic Bondi Beach beckons with its great surf, cafe scene and cosmopolitan vibe. For fantastic ocean views, take the coastal walk along the cliffs from Bondi to Coogee. Taronga Zoo. At Taronga Zoo, you can enjoy close-up encounters with iconic Aussie wildlife and other animals from around the world, plus superb views of Sydney's skyline. Nestled on a point along the north side of the harbour, the zoo inhabits prime Sydney real estate in the posh suburb of Mosman. Taronga Zoo is a short ferry away from Sydney's city centre, but it feels like a different world. It's quite a large zoo, but the zoo train and the sky safari will help you get around in comfort. It's also possible to sleep the night at the zoo in safari-style tents. Sydney Cricket Ground. We had many options to explore in Sydney, but as a hardcore cricket fan, I couldn't afford to miss out seeing the great Sydney Cricket Ground. But unfortunately, the ground was closed that day. But I got another opportunity in Melbourne to explore the mighty MCG, which you will see in my next vlog. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share and comment.